rivers and waters of Egypt ran red and were as blood.
He's here.
Remakes. Aren't we all? Alrighty. Here's what I can say about the Crow remake as of right now. It's better than the Crow sequels. There. All you got that? Really? Finally? Alright then, now let's continue on with this video. The Crow remake, the movie that has had a long time to get made. Of course, to all you're probably saying to yourself, oh, is he gonna start ripping the shit out of this movie? Is he gonna say this movie is awful, this movie is terrible? Well, here's what I can assure you. I can give this movie points for gore, graphic gore, and just being as graphic as possible. The violence in this movie is actually pretty brilliant. Well, special effect and well made. The violence in this movie is so well made. Is it better than the violence in the first movie? Well, yes. And no. But I can assure all you know what I'm going to say, you know how I'm going to say it, you know what I'm definitely going to say, and I've been saying it for quite some time. But before I say it, I know for one thing, this film has gone through actor to actor, director to director, thinking that they were going to finally make this movie like a long time ago, practically a couple of years ago. But then later, the actors bailed out because of creative differences. And of course, directors, same thing. Director from the director, actor from actor. Some of the actors who actually would have been the perfect part for this movie. Well, maybe not this movie, but any of the original Crow, well, not Crow directors, but people who were chosen to direct a Crow movie. But here's what I can just tell you. I can see why they bailed out. I can 100% see why these guys bailed out, because they're like, oh God, I can understand why. What I can possibly understand is getting the same guy who did the live action Ghost in the Shell, which I don't hate. I actually do enjoy that movie. And don't worry, I'll do a separate video on that. And also Snow White and the Huntsman. Yeah. I actually liked how dark that was. And I actually liked Charlize Theron's character in that movie, being the evil queen. But we are talking about the guy who's done those movies and doing this film. Well, let me just tell you. Okay, this guy was a perfect choice for Crow director. Making it dark, gritty, and somewhat gothic. But yeah, I know this guy is a good director. I know he can direct good movies. But I'm sorry to tell you this. You know what I'm going to say. You know how I'm going to say it. Everybody, get up off your couches or chairs or whatever. You know what I'm going to say. It will never be the original. The original Crow is so iconic. Now, here's why the original Crow is so iconic. Okay, I'm not going to mention Brendan Lee's unfortunate accident that happened on set. But what he did film on set was actually something probably can't do today. Or probably can't do today, but do it in your own style. The part where he goes into Gideon's pawn shop, and one moment he breaks through the glass and starts quoting Edgar Allan Poe, saying, "Suddenly I heard a tapping, as someone gently rapping at my chamber door." The hell are you talking about? You heard me rapping, right? And also, another thing I should probably mention, the part where he fights Tintin in that one scene in the first Crow movie, the scene where Tintin says to him, "The hell you painted it all for, crackhead? Halloween until mañana." And then when he kills Tintin, he says, "Well, victims, aren't we all?" And kills him. And also, this is one thing I just want to mention. Brendan Lee is so iconic as the Crow. You just can't do this again. Now, here's why I say it's better than the sequels. The sequels lack gore. Crow City of Angels, reason why it sucked, because it didn't have enough action or fight scenes. Crow Salvation, the only problem about that, it was the first Crow movie that never made it into theaters. It just made it onto DVD and, VHS releases. And, oh, no, don't even get me started with Crow Wicked Prayer. I can officially say this movie is better than Crow Wicked Prayer. More gorier. Looked like they had... Crow Wicked Prayer was so low budget, some of the cuts that they had to do, they had to do like a cut, like where they had to make it look like... It just looked like they just did the best cutaways as best as possible. Or... Yeah, that's what they did in the Crow Wicked Prayer. And yeah, I understand the Crow Wicked Prayer was a low budget movie, but if you didn't have enough money to make a gore effect, or even have at least some gore effect expert that you could have hired, you could have done that. Here, the Crow remake, here you look like you had the budget to do the gore that you probably could have done in the last movie, couldn't do in the last movies, but now made do it in this film. But now here's the one thing is the big issue about the Crow remake. Okay, I understand that you want to have Eric and Shelley to have, more chemistry, show their chemistry before they die, when it comes to their unfortunate demise. I can understand that you want to show how were they, a good couple? How were they, a very happily, loved couple is what they were. But here's the thing. These two characters are not actually good people. Shelley, this actress, F.K.A. Twigs. Why do people always have to have the weirdest names? Anyways, F.K.A. Twigs. This lady, I'm gonna be honest with you, she's not bad, and she's not too awful looking. She's not too off looking. She's actually kind of very good looking in this movie. I just wish in the interviews she wasn't too. Anyways, all I just want to say is she's a good actress, but the problem about her is her character is pretty much running away from something that she knows she can't face, and she winds up getting Eric involved in it, basically. So I understand you want to give Shelley more of a depth. That's the one thing I can understand. But the whole thing about this is that Shelley was an innocent woman, and yeah, let me go into Eric and Shelley's death in the movie. being, suffocated by paper bag. Sorry, not paper. Why the hell did I say paper bags? Being suffocated by plastic bags. Gee, went with the Black Christmas trope. Stuffing people's heads in plastic bags, suffocating them. Okay, I know I have to say this. Reason why the death of Eric and Shelley was more tragic in the first movie, in the original Crow movie, because it was more creative, is why it was so much of a tragedy. Here, it's just like you guys didn't even try to be as creative as possible. Just try to be as simply as creative as possible, not even try to be as brilliant as possible. But here, in the original, Shelley is beaten and sexually assaulted, brutally like crazy in the original first Crow movie. They don't really show it. They kind of show like small clips and flashbacks of it.
Doesn't mean you have to literally do that. Honestly, don't do that, please. Please don't do that, please.
And Eric, getting a knife, thrown at him. Then also being shot out of a window and falling splat like a pancake on the pavement, basically. Those deaths were more creative. Here, you just didn't make it more creative. You just made it more simple and easy. Anyway, here's one thing I can just tell you. I don't like the fact that they had to give, Eric all these tattoos. Like, yeah, I can understand wanted to do something a little different, like maybe he's kind of a druggie, but here's the thing. Reason why, Brendan, healed like Sarah's mom in the first film when he says to her, morphine is bad for you. Yeah, I like the idea of him freeing someone from being a druggie is more better than him being a druggie. But no, I guess they have to make that sort of different change. And also, just another thing that sucks about this movie, the villains are not very memorable. Now, yeah, we have the main villain. I'm going to go into him in just a sec. But reason why the four bad guys, T-Bird, Tintin, Skank, and Funboy, reason why they worked in this movie, because they had personality. Now, of course, you could say, they were kind of like, teenage boys in grown men bodies. Yes, I can understand that part. But at least they were memorable. Now, the reason why I remembered, T-Bird, because he was kind of the leader of the group and second command of Top Dollar. And the reason why Tintin, being the only person who fights the Crow in this movie, in the original Crow movie, sorry. And, Funboy, just basically, there actually is a deleted scene where Funboy does fight, the Crow in the first film. And Skank, well, this quote's still memorable, but it still works. Brendan Lee saying to Skank, guess it's not a good day to be a bad guy, huh, Skank? But yeah, the fight scene with Top Dollar on the church, that is still one of the best fight scenes probably in the movie, due to the fact that he's trying to save Sarah, that he's trying to fight, Top Dollar, and he's sort of losing, he doesn't have his powers, sort of, kinda. But here, okay, Danny Houston, yes. Danny Houston, same guy from X-Men Origins Wolverine, and same guy from several other movies. You may have seen him as the villain, and you think, oh, yeah, that guy. Yeah, I don't care about that guy. But either way, here he just plays a supernatural villain who somehow says that he's trying to stay alive for the next something years, who can somehow control people by saying a whisper, a demonic whisper to them to make them kill themselves or somebody else. Okay. Alright. I'm just sorry to tell you this. Crow, all I can tell you guys is I think I'm getting sick and tired of making the villains, these supernatural type of characters that the Crow has to go up against. Now, here's why I like the first one and give the third one at least some credit, because they know that route worked. Dealing with regular bad guys. That's way better than just going up something against it's super ultra natural, basically. But here they did it the third time, and all I can just say is, you know what? Stop doing this, please. And also for the face paint for Bill Skarsgård. It's hard for me to say this guy's last name, but yeah, Pennywise. Now, yeah, Bill Skarsgård. I'm gonna be honest with you. He actually wasn't that bad. I actually enjoyed him. I actually enjoyed his character. His character seemed vulnerable, seemed almost a little bit likable, but you understand that he's just kind of a character who's kind of broken. And that's pretty much, he's a guy who learns not to be broken and learns to, be this unstoppable killer. But his face paint, now, if I can do a face paint like this, that's close enough to the Crow, why can't this movie do the same thing? All I can just tell you is this Crow movie does have good gory effects, but not very decently good story. Now, to be honest, I think the story is kind of all over the place. So Shelley's trying to run away from the main bad guy, and they have her mother in the mix, and they also, the problem about this is that we don't have any memorable characters. We have characters who show up, but we know they're there to die, and that's basically it. They're only there to die. That's it. We never got to know them or anything. Now here's another character. Here are two characters I want to mention from the original. Sarah and Ernie Hudson's character who plays the cop. Okay, the reason why Sarah works because she was the audience focus. She's the one who lures us in this world. And Ernie Hudson being the cop who's trying to do the good thing, even though he's living in a really crappy city. And just the one thing, Ernie Hudson and the girl who plays Sarah, they're memorable characters. They even brought Sarah back in the, Crow TV show. But here's one thing I just want to tell you. It's not very atmospheric. Like, what I mean by atmospheric, it's not very the same like the first film. Like the first film, you see this town, you see yourself, good God, what a shithole. Good God, what a goddamn shithole. And it's raining all the time. It's practically raining, all the time. It has that atmospheric look, basically. But here's all I can just tell you. This movie just looks like it just has the same look you will see in any other city, in any other movie, basically. Now here's why the city in the original first film was kind of like Gotham, because it had its own unique look. And that's the reason why, this film doesn't really have much a unique look. It just looks like just your regular city you'll see anywhere in a movie. But either way, I've now said a mouthful. So what's my point? This movie does have good gore, but not a very memorable, not going to make the characters more memorable. You're going to remember all the gore and violence and stuff, but that's just it. You're not really going to remember the characters. You're not going to really remember... the only characters you might remember are Eric and Shelley. That's it. Maybe not the bad guy, maybe not the henchmen of the bad guys or any other henchmen, but all I can just tell you, The Crow was so memorable that it was a classic, a cult classic. You can never do it again. You can never make another Crow movie as good as what Brendan Lee did. Brendan Lee did a great job playing the Crow.
Can't rain all the time.
It's sad that he has it's now been more than 30 years since his, his passing. Now, yes, if he, now say, for an example, if Brendan Lee didn't have his unfortunate accident on set, we probably would have gotten The Crow 15 today. I'm just saying that, people. But all I just wanted to let you guys know, if you want to see this movie, what my suggestion? Wait till it's streaming. Wait till it comes. Don't pay the full price. Because the theater I went to, well, I went to a more smaller theater that was less local than the theaters I go to here in Boston. But the small theater I went to, guess how many people were in there? No, just guess. Yeah. So with that being said, how I rank this movie? I rank it, you don't give a shit. I rank it that you don't give a complete shit about it. You don't give a shit. You're not gonna watch this movie. You're probably gonna say, "Oh, the Crow remake." No, I'm good. All I just wanted to tell you guys, just wait till it's streaming. That's the best way I can describe it. So, I am going to make another announcement pretty soon. Not in this video yet, but you'll know it pretty soon. But either way, that ends today's video. My cut, my black and white cut for Star Riders, the beginning, this Wednesday. Look forward for that. With that being said, Vertical Spy, outro. And yes, I know I look scary with this face paint on.
Yo, Steve Bloom here, voice of Spike Spiegel. Remember to subscribe and get vertical.